Hello, I'm talking to you. This is Goddess of Science Biology, and I'm Mrs. Bolvin. Today we're going to talk about nucleic acids, and this is the 9th and final part of my biochemistry series. So, nucleic acid is the 4th major group of biologically active molecules, sometimes called macromolecules, found in living organisms. The elements that make up nucleic acids are carbon, C, hydrogen, H, O, oxygen, N, nitrogen, and P, which is phosphorus. And this is a new one for us. We haven't talked too much about phosphorus before. The monomer or subunit that make up nucleic acids is something called a nucleotide. Nucleotide is made up of a sugar, usually a 5-carbon sugar, a phosphate group, and a nitrogen base. There are 5 different types of nitrogen bases found in all nucleic acids. So the nitrogen bases are adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, and uracil. Now, those words are really long to write out if you have to write them out like, 100,000 times. So usually scientists who study DNA usually refer to them by just an abbreviation. Now, if you were going to abbreviate adenine with a letter, you would probably pick A, and guess what? That's exactly what happens there. Thymine is a T, guanine is a G, cytosine is a C, and uracil is, yes, you guessed it, a U. So there are 2 main types of nucleic acids. It's a picture of a little nucleotide before we go there. So we got the phosphate group here. We have our 5-carbon sugar, and then this green portion here, yellowish green portion, is nitrogen bases, and you can plug in any of these nitrogen bases into this slot right here, and it would make a different nucleotide. Okay, so the first type of nucleic acid is DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, excuse me. And there are very few things in this course that I'm going to ask you to memorize how to spell, but this is one of them. You need to learn how to spell deoxyribonucleic acid. Notice that deoxyribonucleic is all one word. A lot of people like to break it up into 2, 3, 4, 5 different words there, but it's all one word, and then acid is the second part of that. Here's a picture of DNA. It has a very characteristic shape, looks kind of like a twisted ladder. If you take a ladder and just like kind of twist it on itself, that twisted ladder shape is called a double helix. The deoxyribose sugar and the phosphates make up the side pieces of the ladder, all the way down and all the way back up. And then they alternate to make the uprights of the ladder. It's sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate. And on the other side, it's phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar. So all the way down the DNA molecule, they're alternating the sugar and the phosphate. And the bases form the rungs of the ladder here. So whenever, like the green one here is an adenine, so notice that only the thymine can fit into it, and that's exactly how it is in real deal chemistry world. Only certain things can bond up together here. Adenine always takes thymine, and cytosine always takes guanine. And the way I remember it is the letters that are just made of sticks are together, and then the bubble letters are together. So A always takes T, C always takes G. So if there's an A on this side, there has to be a T on the other side of it. If there's a C on this side, cytosine on this side, guanine has to be on the other side. If there's a guanine on this side, there has to be a cytosine across from it. And that's how the molecule is structured. The other type of nucleic acid is RNA, ribonucleic acid. Again, you have to learn how to spell ribonucleic acid, but let's be honest, if you can spell deoxyribonucleic acid, you got this one nailed. So there's some differences. Instead of the deoxyribose sugar, it just has ribose sugar in it. and it's only half of the ladder. And the other difference is it has uracil where there normally would be thymine. So there's no thymine in RNA, and it has uracil wherever it would have a thymine. So here's our half of a ladder, okay? So normally where we would put a thymine in, we have a uracil instead. So this little molecule here, this little shape is what they're using to symbolize uracil. And again, we still have a phosphate and a sugar and a phosphate and a sugar and a phosphate and a sugar all the way down the molecule. But this time the sugar is going to be ribose sugar. In DNA, it's deoxyribose sugar. And that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Have a nice day.